Good morning, good morning, good morning this day before Thanksgiving. How are you doing this morning? Mm, I've been in the kitchen, was making cranberry sauce last night, and we are getting ready today to head off to meet up with some family for the Thanksgiving weekend. So, if this is your first time to catch me live on a broadcast here, thank you so much for joining. It's a pleasure to have you here. My name is Renee Harden, and by trade, I am an editor, I'm a content writer, I'm a writing coach. I love helping people craft their stories, polish their content, and put their best stuff out there, whether it's in book form, article form, blog form, whatever way that you're sharing content. It's a way to just sharpen up those skills and have you put your best content forward. Mm. Well, I hope you are enjoying today. Maybe you're getting ready to end your work week. Maybe you've already ended your work week and you're already in the Thanksgiving mode. But wherever you are, I hope you'll take a moment, grab a mug, pull up a chair, because we are going to check in with our writing goals all during this month of November. If you've been participating so far, you know that we are in the middle of a month called NaNoWriMo. That is a shortened acronym that stands for National Novel Writers Month. But I like to tweak it and make it a little different to include all new writers, aspiring authors, people who are thinking about writing but have never really taken the dive to do that. So, all during this month, what I've been trying to do is encourage you every day, set a writing goal, and then to meet those goals. And we've been checking in every day. And so, I've been working on something as well. And so, this is my accountability to check in with you. So, we're in week three. We are in week three of November, guys. And a week from today, we will end the month of November and start December of 2022. Can you believe it? We've already completed this year. In 2023, you realize that the COVID pandemic will be 3 years ago. How quickly time moves on, and how important it is that we capture all of those special moments and memories, those stories that we have. And so I've been working on a story. I've been working on actually several little stories that encompass my whole story that I'm writing on. So I, as accountability, am going to be checking in here with you to let you know where I've been on my writing journey. But first, we're going to celebrate with our mugs because this is what my story is centered around. So I have a pretty little mug here, and it's actually one for the Thanksgiving and fall season. It says, "Autumn leaves and pumpkins, please." And after this holiday weekend, we're going to be getting ready for Christmas. Have you already put your tree up? Now, I know for a lot of people, um, they're just itching and want to do it, but they're not going to put up their tree before Thanksgiving. It's just they can't do it. There are some people who, because of the difficulty of this holiday season, maybe they lost a loved one. Maybe they're dealing with someone who is battling a disease right now. And so for them, they want to get ahead of the holiday spirit and want to go ahead and put their tree up. So some people have. Some people have it, and that's okay. However, you celebrate the holidays, that's what's important that you're celebrating, especially with those you love, friends, maybe if you can't be with your family, or maybe you don't really have family. And so your family are the friends in your community that you've come to know and spend time with. And so I have a coffee mug collection. I've been collecting mugs for, 35 years now. And it all started with my late husband and the touring that he used to do as a lighting designer. And so we would travel the country, parts of the world. And for souvenirs, I always liked getting either coffee mugs or Christmas ornaments, because those are things that you can use every day. And if you take really good care of them, they won't wear out. And they're not like another t shirt to wear or another little trinket. This is something that when I pull down my mug and I fill it with coffee and I make my coffee for the morning, I think of where I was when I got this mug. Or if like some of my mugs who've been given to me as from friends, I pull those mugs down. I remember when I got that mug and what we were doing. Or maybe some of these mugs have been from places that I visited. And so it helps remind me of those stories. So my coffee mug collection has grown pretty large over the years. And I think I have, if I'm not mistaken, and you guys remember a couple of years ago, I did a count on my mugs, but I've since added to that. Some people have asked me, where do you keep all your mugs? I'll be sharing that with you as well, and showing you a little bit before the end this month ends, um, all of my coffee mugs. So I believe with another one that I added day before yesterday when I went to the mall, I've added. So now I think I'm up to 185 mugs. 185 mugs. If you think about it, that's well over a half year's content. So if I'm going to chronicle all those stories, I've got to have a plan and a goal in mind to make sure that I stay on task and keep this going. Because if I'm going to publish a book next year, I need to get all the content written if it's going to take 6 months. Luckily, I already have some of the content started. And what I've been working on all month is my planner. And I have written down in my planner the different mugs. You notice that for today, you see today's block there where it says 23? You notice I'm talking about my mug. The struggle is real, because the struggle is real, especially over the holiday season. I don't know about you, but do you feel like we're just going 90 to nothing? We're just steamrolling right into the holidays. Whew, you're trying to get it all done. I want to have all my Christmas shopping done, if possible. If possible, barring the packages I'm waiting on that have been ordered, that probably won't get here till the first week of December. But I really want to have all of my Christmas shopping done by the end of this month or the first week of December. That's one of my goals, because then I can spend the remainder of December getting packages wrapped, making sure I have everything for everybody that I have gifts for. We are traveling this holiday season, so we are going somewhere. So when you have to take Christmas presents with you, of course, we're driving, but some of the presents I've had shipped to my house in Nashville so that I can take care of wrapping them and getting them there, because it's too hard to take everything, right? Well, so I've been working on planning. I took my planner for NaNoWriMo, and rather than it be a calendar, because sometimes when you're looking at your calendar, you realize we have 7 days. We have exactly one more week to the end of the month. So we're in the home stretch. We're in that last week of the month where been working on our stories. I've been working on mine. And so each time I complete content, you notice I circle it so that I know where I was. So yesterday I wrote about the La La Land Cafe, a great coffee shop concept that was started here in Dallas that has now branched out to multiple locations. And the thought behind that franchise, the owner started it to employ students who were aging out of the foster care system, because he was in foster care himself. And so he started this to give these students a place where they could work, where they could train, where they could develop work skills. And that franchise has since taken off and is now, you know, several locations here in Dallas. I was at the mall the other day and I just noticed they opened a location in the mall. So now the mall has another great coffee option opposite of Starbucks. Starbucks is way on the other side of the mall. La La Land Cafe is on the other side of the mall by the food court. Wonderful, wonderful place. I'll be sharing more about that. But I have a mug that they gave me the first time I went to see them and to talk to the owner and interview him and find out a little bit more about what he was doing. And this was back when I used to go visit coffee shops and feature mugs from coffee shops and interview the people who worked there or started working there or started the franchise. So La La Land Cafe, that's one of the stories that I wrote about in meeting that gentleman who started that franchise. So I wrote about that yesterday. Today I'm going to write about the struggle is real because sometimes the struggle is real. And as I had mentioned before, my late husband passed away in 2013 on Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. So for me, Thanksgiving is a somber time. I'm grateful now that I have a new family. I remarried. I've been married now for 5.5, almost 6 years. Next year will be 6 years that I've been remarried. And so I've been building memories with my new family, and that's been beautiful. So I'm going to be doing that over this Thanksgiving weekend and then traveling back to Tennessee to spend Christmas with my children. But the struggle is real. Sometimes over holiday seasons, like I said, people have lost someone, they're dealing with grief because I'm 9 years from that experience. I no longer carry my grief as freshly as I did that first year, even those first few years. But I remember what it was like. And so, for those of my friends who are watching that are walking through that in this season, maybe this is your first holiday season without your loved one. So, hopefully, you're cataloging all of those stories. You're remembering them and honoring them. And that's what we do. So today's entry is going to be my mug called The Struggle is Real. And I didn't use it for my mug this morning because I wanted to use this pretty little one. And I love the little red wagon that is pulling the pumpkins, right? But after this weekend, guys, we're going to be into the holiday season. So I wanted to update you and let you know where I was. Like I said, I filled in, remember, I filled in my calendar. I hadn't quite decided yet which mugs I was going to work on. And as I've been writing, I've been realizing that when I went to that same cabinet every day to get my mugs down and do coffee, that I kept looking at the mugs that were there on those shelves. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to start with this cabinet and I'm going to work on the mugs in this one. Because I have a cabinet upstairs here in our little coffee nook. I have a cabinet downstairs in our kitchen. And then I have a china cabinet that's in our garage. It's glass, it's lit, and it has a majority of my coffee mugs. That way they're stored safely and securely, and they're where I can get to them every day if I want a fresh mug. So I filled in my calendar, my list, because again, this is not set in calendar form, so it's a little easier. I go down and I work in it in chronological order, in just numerical order, and this helps me organize it and focus my writing so that I know which mug I'm writing about. But as of next week, I'm going to get to the end, and you notice that I've got a mug with my name on it, and I'm going to write the story about that. But what do we do after November? What if we're not finished telling our story yet? Well, guys, I printed out extra copies of my planner. And so I have one for this is going to be December and January and February. Because, one thing that writing consistently does is it helps you develop a daily habit. And when you get into the habit of doing something daily, it becomes almost automatic. So I have been working on a mug every day, sitting down, blocking off time to write these little entries. Now, they're not complete. Some of them are not complete. And let me show you where I am in my writing goals because I'm very excited about this. And so hopefully maybe if you're participating in NaNoWriMo, you're doing the same thing. And if you're not, this is a great way to start. You can use the NaNoWriMo website anytime during the year to set yourself a writing goal and to keep yourself accountable because you can update your writing goals every day. There's lots of different apps that you could do that. But I've been using the NaNoWriMo um, site for a while now. So let me show you where I am in the process. I should be at about 11,000 or so words. Um, let's see, let's do it this way. There we go. Can you see that? Is it better this way? No, it's better this way. Hopefully you can see that. So let me scroll up a little bit. so you can see where I am. Is that better? So see there, so it says, welcome, Rane, to NaNoWriMo. And so I set myself a goal of 15,000 words for the month. 15,000 words. Now, in a traditional NaNoWriMo, authors and writers set themselves a goal of 50,000 words in a month. And if you've been doing that, it's fantastic because at the end of the month, you will have 50,000 words towards your book, towards your story. So write all you can. I am just a few words shy of 11,000. So my goal is to hit 15,000 words. One of those things that I've mentioned earlier this month is think about writing your author bio because for your book, you're going to need an author bio. I'm going to find, here's one of my clients from this year who wrote her story. Okay. So she wrote her story. And on the back is her author bio, right? And we don't think about that, but it's important to have a summary of your book, which is up here, which is what she has, and then an author bio, right? A brief introduction of you to your readers. So this right here is content. These are words that you would have to write towards your writing goal, especially if you're writing a book, because this is something that you're going to need to write when you get ready to publish. So I'll be working on my own writing goals and I'm making myself a list. I check it all off because that way I know which mugs I've written a story about. And I'll be adding to that as I add my planners for the successive. That's the word I was looking for. My successive months of January, December, January, and February. So I'm thinking already about the next 3 months of writing that I'm going to be doing. So if you've been participating, you've been working on your writing goals, and again, NaNoWriMo has a great way. You can go in here. You can, when you update your words, you go right here and you write how many words you did this session, or you can write where you are in total word goals. How did you feel when you were writing? Was it like, or were you completely happy? Where were you writing? And this says, you have options. Were you at a cafe, at the library? You can even write in your own. How were you writing? Did you do it by hand? Were you on your phone? Because a lot of times we're on the go. We can write those blurbs on our phone, right? You can put that there and then you update your progress. And when you do that, it helps you see where you are in your total word count goal. So after this month, I'm going to set myself a new goal for December. I might even give myself another 15,000 words because 15,000 words is about 500 words per day. And so if each entry about my mugs is going to be about 500 words or so, right? That gives me a goal. Now, some days, as you notice, my total word count goal is not where it should be um, at 500 words a day. And that's okay. Some entries I wrote a lot about. Some entries I've only written a short blurb because then I'm going to go back to them, sort of fluff that out, or maybe edit back some of the longer ones and get my book, just massage those words to get my book where I want it to be. But it's exciting when you start seeing the content come together and your story taking shape. So I posted yesterday, or I think, yes, was it yesterday or the day before, a post about ending our stories, where we are with wrapping up with our characters. If you have written a fiction story, you have a protagonist in your story, and you set out to deliver a promise at the beginning of the story with that main character. And so where we are at this stage of the story is we're wrapping up those things. You had written scenes and maybe you had your character go through some things where you are now at the point where you are going to show us all the forces that come together in a story with the conflict, and we're going to find out what happens. What happens? Does our protagonist win? Does she get the guy? Does he get the girl? Do they get the job, the house? Do they move where they want? What is the promise that you set out at the beginning? And if you've been writing those scenes up to this point, now's the time to think about how you're going to resolve all of this. How are you going to wrap things up neatly to bring your readers to a close so that when they close that book, they are left with the memories and the feelings of an experience that you just took them through using your story. Maybe you're writing a piece of nonfiction work. Maybe you're helping someone learn about goals. Maybe you're telling someone how to do something, a DIY. Maybe your story is about overcoming something, like, I went through breast cancer treatment. So if I was writing a story about that, I would be writing about when I was diagnosed, what it was like to face that, going through treatment, wrapping up the treatment, getting past that, and then the years afterwards, and then looking forward to, next year, 2023, summer of 2023, I will be 4 years out from when I was diagnosed. And if I go 5 years, I will be diagnosed as in remission. My cancer is in remission. And so far, thank the Lord, so good, right? So if you're writing a story like that, you are the main character. Or if you're writing about another person, that person is the main character. You're taking your readers on a journey. So where are we now towards the end of the book? And what is the message that we want to leave our readers with? So that's our work this week, right? That's our work. And so I am wrapping up this month's worth of writing by getting to those last weeks of mugs that I selected. And I ended it with my mug, my name on it, because this is going to be my story and it's going to be a part of my story. Now, the book may not have these stories in this order. So once I have all my stories written, I may even categorize and begin to categorize these because some of them are from Hawaii, my island home. Some of my mugs are from England because of my fascination with the British monarchy, and I've traveled there. Some of my mugs are from locations I've been where I've seen something really great or I've experienced something really great. I have a mug from the Baseball Hall of Fame. I have a mug from the Academy Awards Museum. I have a mug from the Chicago Art Institute. I have a mug from all kinds of different places. So maybe I categorize those as my travel mugs. Then I have my Starbucks series mugs of places. I have my mugs from Nashville when I lived there. So now my story is taking shape, and I'm going to go back through and sort of organize that to see where I'm going to take my readers as I tell my story. So this next week, our goal is to wrap things up, is to really get ourselves across that finish line where we've met our writing goals, right? And we reach that one goal. But just because we tackle that one goal doesn't mean we're finished yet because we're still going to be writing. I love writing stories through the holiday season. I love getting to see what kind of experiences that I'm going to have, some fun memories I'm going to make with family and friends. Do you have some favorite things that you like to celebrate over the holidays? Maybe there's some special memories that you have of the holidays. Maybe you're making new memories because you've had, for example, in our family, we have new babies coming into our family. We now have 3 babies. And so we are so excited to have those 3 babies in our family on this side. My grandson that's in Tennessee, that's the 4th baby. So we have the next generation of babies coming along. And so writing about those memories of watching them grow up, remembering when they were born, joining them to the family. Those are all part of the wonderful things that make up our story. So I'm looking forward to wrapping this month up with you, looking back at this month and realizing that I have 30 days of content that I've written that I'm going to eventually share, and planning for the next batch of writing, right? So wherever you are in your story journey, hopefully you're at a place where you can start resolving those things. I'm going to be posting and sharing this next week. All those things that we'll be doing as we wrap up the story climax. How do we end that? What is the denouement? What is a denouement? Are we leaving folks with a cliffhanger because you're writing a series and there's going to be a volume 2 to your book? Maybe you take readers to this one place and then you write to be continued with an ellipsis. And that lets readers know, oh, this part of the story is over, but the next one's about to start, right? Have you ever read a book series? So maybe that's something you're working on, but whatever it is you're working on, continue doing that. We still have a week to go with our writing goals, right? And so I'm going to still be cheering you on. I'm going to be working on my writing goals. And then we're going to start the month of December and we're going to talk about what we do with our writing. What do we do now that we've written all of this? Because we need to find a way to send it. I mean, are you going to email it to your friends? Maybe you have an email list and you're going to put it in a blog post. Maybe you're going to write a series of blog posts to get started. I know a lot of authors who have started that way and published their work on a forum. But we're also going to talk about and walk through the steps of what to do if you want to tell your story. If you really want to write these and put them together in a collection, like my client did, where she wrote a book, she told her story, and she wrote about navigating the messy middle of divorce. She was a newlywed, and 4 weeks before the birth of her daughter, she discovered that her husband had been having an affair the entire time they were married. And so, as a single mom, as a woman coming out of a shattered life, how did she pick those pieces up? So, her story starts with that fateful moment. And then she walks everyone through her journey. And it was messy and it was difficult. But I am so excited to say that here, I think it was last month, maybe a couple of weeks ago, she got engaged again to a wonderful man who has picked up the broken pieces and is going to put them back together and build a whole new beautiful life for her. But she wrote a story about overcoming that challenge in her life and sharing what she did and encouraging other young moms who were going through that. So we worked on her book this year, right? We put it together and she published it. So maybe that's what you're doing. I was so excited yesterday. I had two of my authors that I've been working with over the last few months. One, her book went live. Her book went live yesterday. It's a sci-fi fantasy YA reader. And so she published her first book, 348 pages. So excited. She's a former student of mine. She was a high school student who I recognized her writing ability and her talent. She graduated high school at 16, got her undergrad and her master's by 21, and published her first book yesterday. I have another author she's publishing her book in December, but her pre-orders went live. So it's so fun at this stage of the game to watch my authors actually see their book come to life, to have it go live, to hold an actual copy of it in their hands, to know that they worked so hard on something, worked so hard on all their writing, put it together, and we worked together and collaborated to polish it and make it the best. I have a formatter that I absolutely love working with. He does an incredible job, and he works on the book covers and getting everything laid out beautifully, with headers. She had questions at the end of every chapter that had, prompts for people to use, quotes. He laid it out beautifully, and I was so excited to see her book come to fruition. And of course, I always love getting my authors to give me an autographed copy. So I can't wait. Maybe what you've been working on this month, you're going to eventually have in your hand, and I get to see it happen. So if you want to work together, I'm going to be working on that in January. We're actually going to be, I'm going to be walking through the month of December, celebrating the holidays, but I'm going to be talking about the different ways that you can get your content in a focused outlet or platform. And again, guys, you've heard me talk about it before. Don't just post everything on social media. Those platforms belong to somebody else. If you're going to put your stuff online, publish it on a site that actually handles publishing works by authors. Or build yourself a free little website and get started blogging and writing and capturing those things. But put it somewhere that belongs to you. Don't just entrust it with a social media platform because, as we've seen with what's going on Twitter, that could change overnight and all the content that you've been writing could be gone. You could be completely locked out of it. I've seen people locked out of their sites, out of their Facebook pages, their profiles, different social media accounts for whatever reason. So be really careful with your work. It's precious. Those are your words. You want to make sure that you share those in a way that's beneficial for both you and your readers. So, what are you going to be working on? I know today I'm going to be working on this. So, what do we do when we're trying to get through the holiday season? How am I supposed to write Renee if I'm getting ready to deal with Thanksgiving? Well, I understand that because you know what? I'm going to be doing the same thing. So, how do we find time over this next holiday season to stay on our writing goals? Because it's so important, right? Um, you know, we set out a goal. We're like, oh, I'm so excited. I'm going to write all this stuff down. I can't wait. We have a break. We have all this, and yet, then there's visits with the family, and we got to go travel. And now I got to get in the car, and I got to get all my stuff together. And did I remember to take my laptop? Am I going to take my laptop? Am I going to maybe take my iPad or maybe take a notebook? And we set all of these goals, and then we settle into the holidays and we eat a big meal and we start watching the game, or we're watching the World Cup games, or we're settling in watching a movie and we just forget. Then the next thing you know, you're behind on your writing goals, you're stressed out, and you feel defeated because you crashed and burned. Well, let me give you a little tip on what we can do over this Thanksgiving week because I'm going to be doing the same. Trust me when I say I'm going to be doing the same. But hopefully, I'm going to be checking in. I'm going to be coming here posting, and either posting on my page or updating you live and letting you know where I am in my writing journey because I'm trying to be diligent with this, just like you are, to show you that I'm walking through the same thing. I've got a big family thing. My brother and sister in law's lake house, they've remodeled. So everybody's coming down there. They just moved everything in the house. So we're going to see a brand new house. And so that'll be fun. But again, it's settling into a brand new house. And so we're all going to be down there. I think in our family message thread, they said we do have internet. It's slow, but they got it hooked up. So, so this might be a time where I may be just updating you from my phone. But either way, I've still got writing goals to make, right? Over the next 3 days. So, what do we do? First of all, as I said, set tangible goals. I know the coffee mugs I'm going to be writing about. So, I've already set myself a tangible goal. I already know which mugs I'm going to be writing about. So, that helps so that I'm not trying to sit down at the screen and go, all right, what am I writing about? I have an idea of where I'm going. If you're in your story and you've been writing scenes, you sort of know the direction you're heading. Think about winding those scenes down. We have a week of writing. Where are you in your story arc that you can start to turn those moments and direct your readers towards the story climax, right? So, I don't know about you, but when I get out of my routine at home and I have external forces that change, it's hard for me to reach my goals when I have distractions on the outside. Family's coming. I'm going to have babies to love on. We're going to have food to eat. We're going to be playing board games because we love to do that. Um, but set a goal. You know, when can I write without taking away time from the family? Well, one of those things might be get up early. I don't know about you, but I love getting up early in the morning, especially before everybody else gets up, or maybe everybody's up just having their coffee. But that early morning time when my brain is fresh, I'm rested, to find a nice little quiet place with my mug. Like I come up to my office early in the mornings and I sit down with my cup of coffee and I write. I just let the words flow. I look at my mug and I allow myself to think about the thoughts and the stories behind that mug. And then I start writing. I just start writing. I don't think about the form or the shape it's taking. I'm just writing about that mug. So maybe get up early in the morning before all the family gets up. Maybe go, sit in the car for 10 minutes and just write. But maybe sneak into the kitchen and start the coffee pot before everybody gets up. Wrap up in your bathrobe and find a little nook in the house and get typing. Because if you get up early and you have 15 to 30 minutes ahead of when everybody else is up, that's your golden time, right? And you can get those words in. What if you're not an early riser, Ronnie? I can't do it. I'm just not a morning person. Okay, I get it. You know what? Then sleep in. Let your family know that you're sleeping in. Don't open the door. Go make yourself a cup of coffee or go sneak a cup of coffee and then go back in the bedroom, close the door, and write. Work if you're with family and you're visiting, maybe you're in a guest room or something. Work in your guest room for a few minutes. Let them know you'll be down and just check with everybody. You know, keep your laptop or your phone handy nearby so that if you have a creative burst or you're thinking about a scene or you're doing something, you can go capture that real quick and then have that count towards your writing goal. And again, don't beat yourself up about um, whether it's exactly if you're working on NaNoWriMo, did you do 1,667 words today? Or did you do 418 of that 1,667? Right? Give yourself a little grace, but do that. Or if mornings don't cut it for you, if you can't get away from the family, there's going to be some downtime. I don't know about you, but we all play, we do things, we go take a nap. Everybody in the house, even though we're there, we kind of go into our separate corners to get a break for a little while before we come back together and do the evening meal and do things, right? So disappear for a little bit. Maybe, maybe go for a walk. Maybe get in the car and go run to the grocery store, or maybe just get in the car and run down to the park. Or if you're somewhere like where I'm going to be, where there's a lake house, can I take a walk somewhere? Now it's going to also be raining here for Thanksgiving. So I already know that I'm going to have some cozy, rainy days to write. And if I hole up in the corner, maybe I can do that. Or if you're a night owl and you're more creative late at night, stay up late. Get that extra 15 to 30 minutes in at the end of your day and write before you go to bed. Find whatever time works for you and set a tangible, doable goal and give yourself a lot of grace. A lot of grace. Because, guys, it's the holiday season. We're thankful for so much. Um, you're hoping to write during your cruise tomorrow. Oh, how fun. Where are you going, Judy? And how long are you going to be gone? Where are you and Steve going for Thanksgiving? That's an excellent time to write, right? You won't have all of the distractions of work and other things pulling at you. I know when I go out of town, I don't think about my myriad of things that I have to do at the house. One being clean this office. Look at this desk, y'all. Look at this desk. Cozumel until Monday. Oh, how fun, Judy. Not only are you going to have time to write, but you're going to have some fun places that you're going to go to write about. Oh, I hope you have such a good time. You're going to have such a good time. I know the weather's going to be better for you probably than it's going to be for us because we're going to be having a rainy day at the lake house. But we're going to have a rainy day at the lake house. And so I'm excited about that. So I hope whatever you're working on today, and this Thanksgiving weekend, right? Set aside that time for you. That's important. That's a little piece of you, a little piece of your creativity that you're feeding every day. And when you do that, you'll be amazed at the end of the month, the content you'll have written and the start to an amazing story, right? And so, or the ending, right? We're working on ending our stories or getting to the home stretch. So, guys, 7 more days. Next Wednesday, when we get together, we will have finished NaNoWriMo. We will have finished a complete month of writing. Can't wait. Can't wait to share with you the book that we're going to be doing for book club. So, right now, we are reading, in my book club, we are reading the book A Bigger Table, Building Messy, Authentic, and Hopeful Spiritual Community. Guys, we've had 2 shootings in 2 days. How many more? How many more people are going to have to die? I would like to get through today with no mass shooting. We just not have any shooting happen. Tough. And so when those topics come up, there are so many different viewpoints and so many different sides to that kind of a story. So, how do we come to the table together, focus on the things that are important, love on each other, and welcome people, even those that might think differently or believe differently or look differently than we do? So, this has been a really insightful read. It's been challenging. You know, I like to read books that challenge my thinking, to help me get outside of just my own thoughts and open up those perspectives and hear from other people. So that's what we've been doing. But I'm really excited. I'm really excited for our December book pick and the fact that we're going to be going into a whole new year of writing. So I'll be reviewing the books that we've read so far this year in book club to encourage you maybe to join the book club if you'd like. But also to check in with you next week as we wind up our writing month of November. It's been fun. And for me, listen, it's been accountability for me as well. It's because even though I'm an editor and I work on other people's stories, I need to focus time writing mine. My book won't get written unless I sit down and do it. So I hope it's encouraged you. I'm going to keep encouraging you over this next month as we celebrate the holidays and we capture all those memories and stories. Because you know what? Someday we're going to leave those behind for someone to read, and it'll be a memory. It'll be a way for them to remember us and remember the time we spent with them sharing our stories. So I hope you have a fantastic Thanksgiving weekend. Relax, enjoy, celebrate with your family and friends. Enjoy whatever you're doing. Judy, you're going on a cruise. Have a wonderful, safe time. I hope you have so much fun. Um, and share those stories, guys. You never know the difference that you can make in someone's life just by sharing a smile, an act of kindness, and a little bit of your story with them. Thanks for sharing your time with me this morning. I hope you have a great one. Listen, if you have any questions about writing your story, you want a little bit of extra accountability as you write, please let me know. And also, if you'd like to join the book club, like I said, join me next week where I'll be making the announcement about what we're going to read for the holiday season. It's a winner. In fact, I'll give you a hint. A movie is being adapted and filmed on this book that will come out next year. I'm super excited about it. That's all I'll tell you about for right now. You got to join me next Wednesday for the December book pick announcement for plans that we're going to do for the holiday season. I can't wait. This is one of my favorite times of year, and I hope you'll be there with me. All right, guys, let's get to writing. Have a great Thanksgiving weekend. I will see you back here next week as we celebrate the end of our writing journey for this month and celebrate what we've achieved. All right. And again, let me know if you have any questions, if I can help you, if you want to talk about ways that you can get your work organized, crafted, and then somehow published and sent out there in the world, let me know. That's what I'd love to do, and I'd love to help you do it as well. All right. All right, guys, have a great one. Share your awesomeness with someone today. You never know the difference you can make. I'll see you back here next Wednesday as we check in for the end of NaNoWriMo. Take care, guys.